Coming up on Coastline News, we'll tell you about the congressional elections and how the shocking development is shaking up San Diego.
And hear how the homeless are getting around San Diego for free.
You're watching Coastline News.
Good evening and welcome to Coastline News. I'm Marissa Hornaday.
I'm Katie Seals. The 2014 elections have not only caused a huge shift in the national government, but have also created dramatic tension here in San Diego.
New developments in the close race for the 52nd District have San Diegans on the edge of their seats. Here's what happens on Tuesday as polls came to a close. San Diego's 2014 election night, held at the Civic Center's Golden Hall downtown, brought in a large crowd of supporters, both young and old, for the congressional candidates. The 52nd District position was one of the most nail-biting races that San Diego has seen, with congressional candidates Scott Peters and Carl DeMaio less than 2% from each other in votes throughout the night. Scott Peters told his supporters what he plans to bring to Congress.
Republican or Democrat or Independent. And I will work every day to bring you the Congress that America deserves and one you can be proud of again. Thanks so much for your help.
Carl DeMaio describes a new generation of voters who have been failed by both political parties and want to see a change.
I believe my candidacy is unique because I represent that new generation I just spoke of. And my friends, that new generation is more than just me. It's millions of Americans. And that new generation, they're ready to lead.
San Diego's Mayor Kevin Faulkner spent the night answering community members' questions and spoke about his hopes to see change in San Diego.
And it's all about continuing to move this city forward and working together. So I've said as mayor, it's not about if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. What's the right thing that we should be doing? Focus on our neighborhoods, get our economy up and running. So I'm very optimistic.
Chris Cate taking the City Council's 6th seat and Mary Salas being named Chula Vista Mayor were two of the big local wins announced on election night.
All right, as I'm sure most of you know already, the Republican Party has won the Senate by 54 to 45 votes. And also, just over an hour ago, the Register of Voters office released the latest count, which puts Congressman Scott Peters ahead of Carl DeMaio by 861 votes. The FAA made temporary flight restrictions for Air Force Two on Friday as Vice President Joe Biden arrived in Southern California to show support for Democratic candidates. No parking signs and at least 20 highway patrol officers surrounded the San Diego home that the Vice President stayed at for the 2 days that he was visiting. He made an appearance at a private Democratic National Committee fundraiser in La Jolla and a Get Out the Vote event in Kearny Mesa for Congressman Scott Peters. Biden then made his way to San Bernardino for a rally to support Redlands Mayor Pete Aguilar and State Senator Alex Padilla. Over 17 people are in quarantine in the United States because of Ebola. Reporter Samantha Watkins has a story on why one man says it was worth risking his life.
You've got to get that sweat rubbed into your skin.
Former PLNU alum was in an Ebola hotspot. Blake Nelson, already at Mid-America University, traveled to Liberia to film at an Ebola treatment unit, an ETU for the nonprofit Heart to Heart. Blake is now in quarantine for 21 days.
I can't get on buses, I can't get on planes, and I'm checking in or get checked on a daily basis with the county health officials.
The footage Blake filmed will help Heart to Heart raise $1 million for their own Ebola treatment unit in Liberia.
The really inspiring people are the healthcare workers, Liberian, Indian American, who are suiting up multiple times a day to actually treat patients in this kind of environment.
These workers, like Blake, are putting their lives at risk.
People who are contracting it right now are the people who have chosen to care for family members at the risk of their own lives.
Blake says it was worth traveling to Liberia. It was different from anything else he's experienced.
There's nothing like walking through a market and just knowing that someone could sweat on you and kill you.
Blake thinks that ETUs are the main way to stop the outbreak. Heart to Heart will use his footage to earn money for their ETU. Samantha Watkins, Coastline News.
The San Diego Rescue Mission remembers the homeless who have lost their lives over the past year in San Diego. The mission put on its annual Interfaith Vigil on Sunday afternoon, where 56 names were read. The number of deaths is lower this year compared to previous years, but the rescue mission CEO says that it is still too high. Herb Johnson of the San Diego Rescue Mission says many of the homeless in San Diego have mental health problems and don't know how or don't want to get help. There are near 9,000 homeless people in San Diego and 4,000 live on the street.
One organization in San Diego is offering to help the homeless get back home. Reporter Ross Niederhoff has what started this program.
Over 8,000 youth, teens, and adults call the streets of San Diego home, and that figure is continuously on the rise. However, the Downtown San Diego Partnership's Homeless Outreach Branch is doing its part to initiate positive change through various programs. One such program, known as the Work Your Way Home Incentive, allows dislodged peoples to acquire a bus or train ticket home at a practical price.
If you're able-bodied, we ask you to work one shift with our maintenance ambassadors to help pay for your ticket. It's a dignity thing. What we do insist on is that you have a connection at the other end where you're going. We don't send anyone homeless in San Diego to be homeless anywhere else.
A majority of homeless persons have moved to San Diego in hopes of finding many work opportunities. However, the same majority oftentimes realizes that the job market comes with more competition. Many get stuck here trying everything they can to land that dream job. Although the harsh reality of homelessness can be found many places throughout our city, the Downtown San Diego Partnership is offering an easy way out for those who need it. So far, the program's results have been highly encouraging.
Well, we've sent almost 400 people in since February of 2012. I have people that call me that have gotten jobs, promotions, moved into their own apartments, gone back to school, you name it.
The partnership plans to persevere in extending their helping hands to many more struggling individuals in the coming months. For Coastline News, I'm Ross Niederhoff.
We'll tell you about the new scholarship only PLNU offers and what it means for potential students.
And entertainment reporter Ross Niederhoff will tell you the latest about what's going on in Hollywood.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Parents sure have their hands full, and they could use an extra hand. Now, every state offers free or low-cost health insurance for your sports hero or budding artist. Kids up to age 19 can get checkups, doctor and dentist visits, hospital care, prescriptions, and more. Your child may qualify based on your family size and income. It's one less thing to worry about. Call or go online for more information.
PLNU launched a crowdfund for human trafficking victims. Reporter Samantha Watkins tells us how it started.
I've gotten calls from 5 different organizations around the country who are large organizations that work with survivors of trafficking, and they're asking, hey, would our survivors, the folks who've come through our programs, would they be eligible for this scholarship?
PLNU launched a new scholarship for human trafficking victims called Beauty for Ashes. The crowdfund will pay for the students' first year at PLNU, which is roughly $40,000.
In the first week of the crowdfund, we're almost halfway there. We're aiming at $40,000. On the Indiegogo site, we're almost up to $8,000. But people have been giving directly to the university as well, and that's up around $10,000.
Beauty for Ashes is partnering with local organizations like the Salvation Army, Generation Hope, Hope House, and North County Lifeline.
So we're very vested, and particularly in working alongside these 14, 15 local organizations and partner with them to help their survivors move through Point Loma if possible.
An event Spit It was held at PLNU, bringing in past victims to raise awareness. Beauty for Ashes started at the Center of Justice and Reconciliation. It has a special place on Point Loma's campus and on their online website.
And at this stage, we're accepting people into this application process by referral only.
A new student will be on PLNU's campus as early as fall of 2015. Samantha Watkins, Coastline News.
This Halloween led to 2 parents planning their son's funeral. Spookfest 2014 led to 1 student's death. Zachary Bradley, a UC Berkeley student, fell 20 feet at the Oracle Arena. He climbed up to a section marked off limits. Zachary was intoxicated, lost his footing, and fell to his death. His parents are planning a funeral to take place in the upcoming weeks. Police are investigating Zachary's death to be sure that it was an accident.
Wow, that is just a really terrible story, and our hearts go out to Zachary's family and the UC Berkeley community.
Yeah, definitely. Well, in more light news, I'm a huge country music fan, and the Country Music Awards were last night. I hear that Ross has some information on that.
All right, let's hear from Ross.
I do indeed, and I'll get to that right in a minute. My week started off on a great note, however, due to my personal favorite piece of entertainment news. Rihanna is now back on Instagram. That's right, Bad Gal Riri is back at it, posting selfies for all to see and checking up on those who she follows, including myself. So exciting. Moving on to more important stuff, however, long ago, in a movie studio far, far away, the first ever Star Wars film was brought to life by George Lucas and the rest of his team. And now, almost 40 years later, the franchise has announced that it will be producing a 7th installment to the series. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is set to be released December of 2015 and will include several new actors, such as Lupita Nyong'o and Adam Driver, working alongside the classic cast. This week, another important announcement was made by Forbes magazine. The business publication put out their annual list of the year's wealthiest artists. Topping the list for 2014 is none other than Sasha Fierce herself, Beyonce Knowles. Queen Bee grossed $115 million, most of which came from her tour that stopped in 95 cities worldwide and profited at $2.4 million each show. Second place belongs to country-turned-pop star Taylor Swift, and rock star Rebel Pink came in third. It looks like girls really do run the world. In other performance-breaking news, the results are in for fall TV shows. Among the shows receiving positive feedback are ABC's How to Get Away with Murder and Blackish, NBC's The Mysteries of Laura, and CBS's NCIS New Orleans and Scorpion. All will be returning for additional seasons. But NBC's Bad Judge, Fox's Utopia, and ABC's Manhattan Story have found themselves in the cancellation pile. Last but certainly not least, TLC has also declared a substantial cut. I'm sorry to say that the reign of Honey Boo Boo is now over. The network announced that the show will no longer continue due to reports that the show's father figure, Mark Sugar Bear McDaniels, is a registered sex offender. Finishing things up, last night was one of the biggest nights of the year for country music stars and fans alike. The 48th Annual Country Music Awards took place in Nashville, Tennessee. Most notably, Miranda Lambert won the award for Album of the Year and now has 11 total CMA trophies, putting her ahead of any other female artist. Luke Bryan took home the top award of the night, Entertainer of the Year, giving him his first CMA win. Other winners included Blake Shelton, Casey Musgraves, Taylor Swift, Little Big Town, and Florida Georgia Line. That is all I have for you tonight, Point Loma. This has been Ross Niederhoff with your entertainment segment.
We're all familiar with ordering products from online bookstores, furniture shops, and clothing companies, and soon there will be an online grocery store. Experts predict that by 2019, the online grocery industry will reach over $100 billion. That's 12% of the grocery market. In San Diego, residents have the option of Amazon Fresh, an online grocery service. Instacart, another service, will be available soon. Bringing home the bacon may be a thing of the past.
All right, hopefully things are gonna finally cool down and we won't have so much of this heat this weekend.
Definitely, it doesn't feel like fall.
Not at all.
It is so hot.
Yeah.
So hopefully Jonathan can give us some good news, maybe some cooler weather.
Hey there, Point Loma, I'm Jonathan Pickett and I got your guys' weather update. So we're a couple days into November, but we're still experiencing some relatively nice weather. It's a little bit after 8 right now, and it's 70 degrees outside. So let's look at the rest of our current conditions. The wind speed is going to be 77 miles per hour. Our rain's at 0%, so that's not going to happen. and our humidity is at 32%. Now let's take a look at our lows for the night. Up in Oceanside, we have 55, and Escondido, it gets down to 52. We're going to go up a little bit to 63 in Encinitas. It's going to be chilly in Julian at 55, same with El Cajon. It's going to be 57 in San Diego and Chula Vista. Now for our highs, up in Oceanside, it's going to be 84. Gets a little hotter in Encinitas and Escondido at 92. Over in Julian, it's going to be 73, a little bit cooler there. 91 in El Cajon and 79 in San Diego. And it's going to get a little bit hotter towards the border in Chula Vista at 89. Now let's take a look at our surf report. It's going to be 1 to 2 feet for the wave height, and so you guys are going to want to break out your longboards. Our high tide is going to be at 8:57 a.m. and our low tide will be at 2:25 p.m. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. So on Friday, it's going to be at 81, get down to 80 on Saturday. It's going to continue cooling off on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, getting all the way down to 69. And as you can see on Thursday, it's going to get to 70 degrees. So as you guys can see, we're still having some great weather here in Southern California. So you San Diegans, go outside and enjoy yourselves. I'm Jonathan Pickett, back to you guys at the desk.
After the break, I'll tell you about the Sea Lion Stars being recognized in the Pac West Conference this week and the exciting crosstown matchup you've got to make it to this weekend.
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine. Negative.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
With that shoulder, you're gonna pick up that track. Really?
Keeping you from working, playing, or just plain moving.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people who live with pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. I'm going running. I'm going running.
Got to see this. Come on, pick it up.
Fight for your mobility. Find your own inspiration at anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Come on. I'll take it from here.
City officials responded to the public's concern about the location of brewery tasting rooms. Breweries are required to have separate permits before opening an off-site tasting room. Now, residents and other store owners can help decide if they want the brewery's tasting room near that location. The state is reviewing this policy.
San Diegans now have another option for public transportation and exercise. The city of San Diego has set up their first stations to kickstart a new bike sharing program. This program, sponsored by the company Deco Bike, allows people to rent bikes at stations. Prices start at $5 for 30 minutes to $7 an hour. Memberships are also available for $125 and monthly passes for $20. Renters will be able to pick up their bike from a station and drop it off at any other station. If all goes according to plan, 108 bike sharing stations will be set up throughout San Diego.
All right, we are going to talk a little bit more about outdoor activities. Greta Wall has a sports report for us.
Hey there, Point Loma. I'm Greta Wall, here to fill you in with what's going on in sports. The San Diego Chargers suffered a tough loss in Miami last week, being shut out for the first time since Halloween of 1999, when they fell to Kansas City 34-0. The Dolphins' 37-0 dismantling of the Chargers marked their third straight loss and knocked the Bolts down to a 5-4 season record. After 9 straight weeks of football, the team is finally getting some time off. Many would say a midseason bye is the perfect time to get some rest, and the Chargers could not agree more. But head coach Mike McCoy is not making any excuses for the way the team has played recently. He knows something's got to change and is hoping to make the necessary adjustments before the Bolts take on the Raiders at home next week.
So we all got to do a better job as a whole, making the plays that present themselves week in and be more consistent as a football team. And we're not putting on any one player. We're in this all together, coaches included. We got to do a better job. And if we all play a little better this next week against the Raiders, we'll do some good things.
Now in Point Loma, sports things are about to get exciting because basketball season has arrived. Both teams are kicking off their seasons this weekend with exhibition matches at San Diego State. The men will take on the Aztecs tomorrow night at 7, and the women play Saturday at noon. Both teams have some key players they are counting on this year, and the Pac West is recognizing them. Seniors Hayden Lesko and Jessica Escorza have been voted to the all-conference preseason teams. For the men, Lesko averaged 16.6 points per game last season to lead the Sea Lions in scoring while shooting .524 from the field. He scored in double figures in 25 of 30 contests, hitting the 30-point plateau on not just one, but 2 occasions. On the women's side, Escorza was a second-team All-Pac-West selection last year after pacing Point Loma with 16.6 points per game. She did miss some time due to injury, but scored in double figures 16 out of 18 games, including all 8 post-injury appearances. If you want to see your Sea Lions take on the Aztecs this weekend, there are still some tickets available online, but you got to get them quick. That's all I've got for you in sports tonight. I'm Greta Wall.
Thank you, Greta, and good luck to all the sports teams here at Point Loma. And thank you for tuning in to tonight's Coastline News. I'm Marissa Hornaday.
Join us again in 2 weeks for the next Coastline News. I'm Katie Seals.